What's that smell? Blue TV! No!
Dear friends, we're here to mourn the passing of the blue TV. It led a great life, playing many video games and watching many movies. But alas, it has finally come to that day where it is going to have to be returned to the recycling bin from which it came.
You guys, what are you doing? What? We're the 3 Tech Dudes! We can fix this!
We can fix this. We have the tools and the duct tape.
And the talent!
Let's do it!
It's been about 3 weeks since the smoke incident. I've had this out in the shed out back behind my house, and it still smells pretty bad, even though it's a very airy shed. Reed, lots of holes, very old shed. You can see the doors there. So we're going to do a little triage today and get inside and see if we can see what burned up. Don't mind my sleeves, it's a good working on things kind of outfit. Got a lot of things going on around the house today, car repair and like, so you don't wear your good clothes. There's 2 there. I normally would have something under the CRT, but we're going to cheat. Sorry, Blue TV. Looks like we got 2 screws in the bottom here. It looks like this top shell pulls off the bottom, and it sure does. Look at that. Alright. Carefully set this up like this. Okay, at a quick glance, I didn't see anything, but in your shot, I see what appears to be the culprit device. Right here. Trying to get a shot in here of the fuse, but it appears to be not blown, which lines up with what my wife told me when she turned it off. I didn't see it in operation, but she powered it off by the front panel and pulled the plug, but it was still fully operating. So I'm gonna bet we're probably good to just find this component and replace it. I'm gonna assume it's a filter cap. I haven't traced it yet, but being as this is the incoming power, AC power, makes sense. I'm going to flip this up and see that that's connected directly to that left blue line there. It says CP01 on the silk screen, so we'll bet that's a cap. I haven't located schematics for this yet. It was manufactured in 2000, and by then televisions were darn near throwaway devices, so interesting that there's other segments not populated on this board. Huh. Interesting. It looks like to remove this, it's clipped into the base. I'm not sure there's any connectors on the front. I see these screws here, but I think that's just holding the button sets on the front. Yeah. Guess this just slides in. Connector here. This goes to the AV ports on the front. This goes to the speaker. These look like they could be. What are those? Oh, a degausser, I bet. Yeah, the degausser is this deal here. This degausses magnetization of the CRT. That power up. That if you ever hear one of these go tung when you turn them on, that's what you're hearing. So that goes to the degausser circuit. Now, educated guesses. It looks like everything else is intact except for this cap. So we've got to get that out, which means we got to get this board out. Okay, this is your high voltage. I mean, that's generic. It's not just called your high voltage. I don't remember all the terminology, but basically, this red wire, you don't want to just grab that. It needs to be discharged. So we're going to try our best to just leave that alone, because I just want to be able to pull this board out and service it. Basically, I'll turn it up more and get it serviced. We'll unplug what we need to here. As part of why I'm taking this video is to document all of our little connections. It goes up to the board on the back of the CRT. Try not to mess with this because we don't. This thing had a great picture. We don't want to mess up its setup if we can help it. Got this plastic black piece here, clips in the bottom, looks like. I'd be very carefully remove him. So it's got little connectors, and this side clips in. Just straight into the framework here of the little guy. There we go. Now you gotta be very careful because now this thing, of course it always was pretty front heavy like that, so it's going to tip forward even more easily now. So I'm going to go find something to put under this. My biggest concern is what happened to this component is how it happened. So live neutral, FP01. Let's go back here. Here's our component. Doesn't have a lot of interconnects. Light focused okay. It's right here. It's right ahead of that hole cut out in the PCB next to the blue line, which is the neutral. Okay, so our device is connected here and here, I think. That's high voltage. Actually, this is all in the high voltage incoming line on the AC side, I think. Yeah. So you know what? That's your live. From the AC cord, that's your neutral. The cap's here. Before we get into that though, let me clarify. I had misaligned what I just said, so some of you might have noticed that. I'm trying to do this one-handed, hold a camera. This is one part of that cap, and this is part of the cap. It appears to be a capacitor. I'm not familiar with that type of capacitor. I haven't done a lot of high voltage modern television repair. I spend my time in stuff from the old days. I'm a little concerned about this, if that's how that's supposed to look. Heat maybe? It's probably fine. It'll be fine. Forgive my neighbor's leaf blower in the background, but this is the device we're going to use to remove that. It's an old Radio Shack desoldering iron that I bought new. It's about as old as the TV. I probably bought it in 2001. The television's from 2000, so Useless information you didn't need. But there you go, there you have it. So we'll get this guy warmed up and get after it here. Okay, let's see. He's free. Oh, easy as that. Looky there. Let's have a closer look at our component here. I'm on my grubby fingers. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I think it's a capacitor. We'll do some research here and figure it out, because why would it say 285 MB? Of course, that makes me want to say megabyte, but that's my computer programmer brain. Now that we pulled this component out, I now see the schematic symbol for a capacitor, pretty much, right there on the board. So I think that answers our question, along with the obvious, along with the obvious CP01 there. So we're going to see what we can locate that matches the specs here, and hopefully dig up a schematic for this TX808 chassis that this has. But I don't know if televisions built in the year 2000 still had available schematics.
It turns out the RCA issued schematic for the TX808 chassis was easily found online. It is linked in the video description below if you need it. If we look at the starting point of the power supply schematic, we quickly find the capacitor, which is a 0.1 nanofarad metallized paper capacitor on the AC line just ahead of the fuse. It is likely the failed capacitor broke down over time and eventually developed a short across the AC line, explaining the violent smoky failure we witnessed. I initially went on a search for the original capacitor. However, while I found some new old stock on one website, it appears to be out of production. Besides, it might be crap anyway, and I'd rather not repeat the same failure down the road. The data sheet referred to the original capacitor as an interference suppression capacitor, which I assume is its primary use in the circuit we are repairing. I opted to locate another capacitor that fit the specifications of the schematic and original part. I ended up finding this component that was similar and ordered one with the proper values, 275 volts and 0.1 nanofarad, from DigiKey.
A week passes. Gifts come in the mail. Parts for the Blue TV. Okay, here's our new goodies. Looks like they're a little larger. That's not going to be a big problem though. Hopefully. So, I thought these were going to have longer leads. That's okay. We're going to adapt. You see, it's pretty short. It's going to hang just a little bit over. If you look, right here, you'll see it's a little larger than the slot before. Maybe a short distance there, a few millimeters. So we're going to make some leads to put in there, I think, and we'll solder it that way. Can't be too flexible or anything because we're awfully close to our AC power and this coil that I think is for the degaussing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little electrolytic and snip its leads down a bit and solder them to this guy to give me more room to work. Another turbo solder job by Timmy. Okay, we've stubbed our capacitor into the hole. It stands off a little bit, but as long as we're clear of all other items, such as this fuse right here, I'm happy. Okay, you'll see here where I've pulled the leads through and bent them a little bit so I can turn it upside down to solder. You can see here that it's more or less clear, hopefully in good enough shape to make this thing go again. Someone's getting murdered next door, I guess. It's not the best looking solder joint I've seen. Come on, Tim. It's on the spark gap, so. Should trim your leads down. On the short against anything. Here we go. Specific plastic case here. There we go. Put our various cables back in. Put them in the onboard cable management. You were like that, you were like that. The Gauss circuit plugged in here. The Gausser, is that the right word? The degausser. You know, let's double check our work here. Careful inspection. We are clear of the fuse. The fuse is good. We're clear of the AC line cord. Right here. The moment of truth. Actually, let's make sure we're in enough. Make sure our button pushes. Yes, it does. Not gonna lie, it's a little nerve-wracking. Oh, and the power is in. No death yet. Well, here we go. Sounds good. Oh, look at that. Kinda wish I had a temperature camera right now, an infrared. See what's heating up, like Shango 66 does on YouTube. You know, check him out sometime. He's the television genius. He can make them go. Me, I just hobby. It's making a ticking noise. I'm not sure what is. Probably the flyback transformer, which I didn't identify earlier because I couldn't remember the name of it. Flyback, high voltage, 25 kilovolts in this set. Don't touch it. You will fly backward, literally. If not, have serious injury. Not smoking yet. I think we may have fixed her up. Alright, looks like the system's alive and working, so here we go. I figure if we've got these items, then the set is in working order. We'll give it some time and see what happens. Welcome back from the grave, Blue TV. We're glad to have you back.
Well, look, we successfully repaired a television. Well, it was mostly me, but
Oh yeah,
you did Nathan's done things like this before
it's COVID.
too. So.
We were all at home, so
Yes. But look, now we're here together. In defiance, we don't know.
We also don't go anywhere, so
And we don't have it. So
yeah, no.
anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something from this video. So till next time, I'm Timmy,
I'm Justin.
I'm Nathan.
and this is Three Old Tech Dudes. Later.
Oh.
There's a mic there.